The first ever league phase of the Champions League is now complete. And so today we're going to take a look back at my predictions for the entire league phase and just how good and bad some of my shouts were. It was quite a chaotic prediction process, I'm not going to lie, with some of these screenshots of what I had to go through summing it up really. And this is just my way of saying, don't go too harsh on me, thanks. But we're going to work our way up from the bottom of my table to the top of my predictions and see where these teams placed and just how far away I was. Also, any justifications for why I put my rankings where I did and then what happened in reality, or just admitting I'm a fraud. Let me know how you did in your predictions, and without further ado, let's go. So we start things off with my bottom 4 ranked teams. Yes, it says Tongue Boys instead of Young Boys. Questionable spelling error there. But I had Bratislava at the bottom, Young Boys, Sturm Graz and Sparta Prague. Young Boys and Bratislava both got 0 points, which, I mean, only goal difference is the reason why those two were wrong. Great start for the predictions here. Sturm Graz, I had them 34th, they finished 30th, and Sparta Prague, I had them 33rd, and they finished 31st. This is starting off really, really well. So let's immediately knock that down a massive notch here. So 25th to 32nd here. These were the other teams that I said were not going to make it into the next phase of the competition. We had Monaco and Lille and Brest, the 3 French teams who I underestimated, it's safe to say. Monaco ended up coming 17th. Lille came 7th. And they are through to the round of 16, skipping this qualification knockout stage, which, fair play to them. And they smashed it on the final night as well to secure that position, demolishing their opponents. Brest came 18th. Okay. Red Star Belgrade, bang on prediction, 29th out of the 36. Club Bruges, I was close. I went 28th, they came 24th. Same with Dinamo, I had 27th, they came 25th. And Shakhtar, I had 26th, they came 27th. So some decent ones there, just ignore the French teams. Salzburg, though, I had them finishing 25th and they came 34th. Really, really poor. However, the only ones that I can really be upset with are the ones that ended up qualifying that I said wouldn't. So the 3 French clubs and Club Bruges here, not great. Now we move into the bottom end of the knockout qualifiers, 17th to 24th. I had Celtic just about squeezing in there, and they did, but in 21st. PSV, I said 23rd. They actually did a little bit better, coming 14th. Leipzig, really disappointing from them, not even getting close in the end. I had them 22nd, 32nd was where they finished. And the same with Girona. I'm not really sure that it was a genius prediction to predict their downfall after their great season and that they just wouldn't really be able to cope. But I thought they'd do a bit better than they did. I didn't think they'd come 33rd. That was really, really bad. Feyenoord, I nearly got spot on. I was 1 place out. Sporting, only a couple of places out as well. PSG, I feel like this and Juventus are not terrible placements here. I had them 18th and 17th. They came 15th and 20th. So in that middle ground towards the bottom half of the table, I feel like that's okay. Now then, the other teams that I had going through to the qualifying round from 9th place to 16th. Stuttgart stunk the place out, didn't even get through to this place. I had them 16th and they were 10 places lower. Really, really bad. Atalanta ended up finishing 9th and I had them 15th. I feel like their season was unexpected. Yes, they did manage to stop Bayer Leverkusen in the final last season, and so maybe that was going to be a springboard to come on to this season, but I don't think anyone thought that they would do quite as well as they have been doing, both in the league and the Champions League. So fair play to Atalanta. They've got some really, really exciting players, and that draw against Barcelona, not quite enough to get them into the top 8. Bologna, similar story to Girona, that they had their fairy tale season of getting into the Champions League with some really, really good performing players. They were plucked apart a little bit in the summer transfer window, and that seems like it has had an effect on them as they did not make it through to the next round. AC Milan, got that one bang on. 13th and they finished 13th. Dortmund, I was close. I went 12th and they got 10th. So just in that missing out area. Benfica, I went 11th. They underperformed my prediction slightly and came 16th, which is still okay for them. Whereas Atletico Madrid did surprise a fair few people. They ended up coming 5th in this league, which, fair play to them. They have been really, really impressive. In the league as well this season, I feel like a lot of people just don't really pay that much attention to Atletico. They're sort of like the third wheel of Barcelona and Real Madrid. But they've been well up there this season. And in the Champions League, they've got some really nice results as well. And yeah, getting a 5th place finish, skipping straight to that next round. Fair play. And Villa. People told me that I was overestimating Aston Villa. They did also tell me that I was underestimating Lille and Monaco, but we'll ignore those comments and we'll go with the one that makes me look better at predicting. They said, Villa this high up, you are mental. But they actually finished 1 place higher than I predicted them, and they managed to get the top 8. They squeezed through with that last win against Celtic, which is absolutely massive for them, getting into the round of 16. Whereas some of these matches that are going to be happening in this now qualifying first knockout round are crazy. Man City going to be up against Bayern Munich or Real Madrid to get to that stage that Aston Villa are already at. I feel like that alone is a great explanation of just how impressive this is from them. And again, I thought they'd do well. I had them 9th. That was a lot higher than a lot of people put them. But them finishing 8th. Wow. And now I feel we get to the point where a lot of people have probably had very similar predictions here. So my number 1 through 8, the automatic qualifiers through to that next round. Start off with Bayer Leverkusen. Had them finishing 8th. They finished 6th. Not bad, right? Decent prediction. Liverpool, 7th. Nobody really predicted that Liverpool would have this crazy, crazy season that they're having where top of the Champions League phase and also top of the Premier League comfortably. They could genuinely do a double, maybe even like a treble if they come back against Spurs, which they easily could. Liverpool are unbelievable this season, and so I don't feel that bad. At least I had them top 8. Inter Milan, I was close. I went 6th. They've done really, really well. Finished 4th place. Bayern Munich underperforming though, along with some of these other teams that we've talked about. They were not one that I predicted to go down as far as they did, finishing 12th in the end. As I say, potentially up against Man City in that next qualifier is crazy. Barca, I thought would do really, really well, and people were a little bit surprised at that prediction, but I said with the squad that's being built and getting like Hansi Flick in and everything like that, it's looking really, really good for Barca this season. And off the back of like the Euros with Lamine Yamal, just taking that hype through. Rafinha, Lewandowski, like there was a lot to be optimistic about. And they even exceeded my expectations as a fan. So second place with Barca, when I said 4th, is really, really good. Arsenal got that one bang on. Said they'd finish 3rd, and that they did. However, the top 2... Can anybody that predicted these teams in these positions feel bad about where they actually ended up? No. Right? 2 of the UCL giants going into the season. Man City off the back of the 4-peat of the Premier League, of course winning the Champions League a couple of years ago as well. Did anybody have them finishing right at the bottom of the qualifying? Surely not, right? And they had to clutch it up and come from behind against Bruges to even get to this point. Crazy how their season has gone, both obviously in the league and the Champions League. And then Real Madrid, the genius, UCL icons that are Real Madrid, the serial winners, finishing 11th. So again, in a bit of a predicament that my top 2 predictions may face off against each other to even get into the round of 16. How's that happened? How on earth has that happened? So, I think overall, some of my predictions were the norm. Real Madrid, Man City, Bayern Munich, I would say, are the ones that most people would have had finishing at the very top, but they obviously struggled. The ones that maybe could have been a bit better, those French teams, that bracket of 3 of Brest, Lille and Monaco. Lille, I don't think anyone would have predicted them to finish in the top 8, but maybe to predict them finishing considerably higher than what I did and comfortably, maybe like mid-table would have been fair, but okay, I hold my hands up, fair enough. I got those French ones quite wrong. And then, aside from that, well, I had a few decent shouts. I got a few bang-on places, which in a table of 36 teams is not easy to do with how crazy this new Champions League format is. Getting a few of them bang on, or even like 1 or 2 places out, I feel like I did okay overall in these predictions. I am definitely going to do this each year, because obviously we do like our Premier League predictions, and that's hard. But with even more teams and the chaos of this league phase, this was really, really fun to do. And I, for one, actually really, really enjoyed this new format for the Champions League. I know that there's people out there that are slating it, and I personally don't really understand why. I thought that it was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm looking forward to it happening again next year. But I will be doing my predictions for the next round, the qualifiers. I believe the draw is on Friday, and so I will do a video with those predictions once that draw has happened. So let me know, did you do better or worse than me? Obviously, most people would have done worse, right? Because some of these were incredible. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you for another one very soon. Goodbye.